We are going to model this small abandoned restaurant in Blender. First we are going to model our small restaurant, then we will make our own procedural texture for our restaurant in Shader Editor. Select this cube, go into Edit mode, select these vertices, press X, click vertices to delete it, press 7 to go in numpad. Now we are to scale this plane in X-axis to 5 grids. This is first grid. This is second, third, fourth and fifth. Press A to select all. Press S, X, and 5 in numpad. Then press S, Y, and 1.7 in numpad to scale in Y-axis. Then we are going to bevel these 4 vertices. Hold Ctrl, Shift, B, to bevel it like this. Change here segments, value 4. Then select these 2 vertex. Press Ctrl, J, to combine it. Likewise do the same for all these vertices like this. After that select these 2 vertex and press Ctrl, J, to combine it. Do this same for all 3 sides like this. Then press A to select all. Now we are going to extrude. Press E, press 0.1 in numpad, then press Enter to conform it. Again press E, press 3 in numpad and press Enter. Again press E, press 0.3 in numpad, press Enter. Now we have to add a loop cut for that. Press Ctrl R to add a loop cut. Then press Ctrl B to bevel it in segments. Change this 5. We are going to add 2 loop cuts here. Press Ctrl R. Press 2 in numpad to add 2 loop cuts. Press S, X to scale it inside. Now select these faces here. This is door for out restaurant. Press P. Click selection to separate it. I'm going to rename this. You can just double click this to rename it, or just select this object, press F2. Now rename it. I rename it door. Then select this object, press F2, rename it restaurant. Now I want to hide the restaurant. For that, you can click this eye icon to hide and unhide, or just simply press H to hide this. Select the door, go into edit mode, add 2 loop cut here, press S, X to scale it in X-axis. Add a loop cut here and here. Hold Alt and Shift, select this edges. Press S, Z to scale it in Z-axis. Select these 2 faces. Press Ctrl I to invert selection, then press E to extrude it. Now hold Shift and select these faces to deselect. Then extrude it little bit. Now we have to model handle for door. For that select this face. Press Shift D to duplicate it, press SX to scale it. Move it here and scale it little bit. Move it in Y-axis, then extrude it again, extrude it. Then select this face, extrude it and scale it. Now select this inner face and delete it. I don't want that. Now we can see the door has sharp edges and not realistics. For that I'm to add a bevel modifier, change the segments value 4, and reduce the amount value. For me this is good. Then right click Shade Auto Smooth. To unhide the object just press Alt, H, to unhide it. Now select the door, press H, to hide it. After that press Ctrl, R, press 2 in numpad to add 2 loop cut, and press here S, Z, to scale it in X-axis. Then press Ctrl, R, press 2 in numpad to add 2 loop cuts. Likewise add 2 loop cuts here, because we are going to extrude these faces for windows of our restaurant. Now select these faces I'm selecting, and in backside 2 select all these faces. Now I'm going to insert it. Here you can all these faces combine and inserting. I want each faces insert individually. For that press I twice. Now see all faces insert individually. After that select these faces here, and in opposite sides too. Then if press I, it will insert individually, but I don't want that. Again press I twice. Now all these faces insert it. Then select all these insert faces, that we are going to extrude these faces for our restaurant. Just confirm you selected all these faces correctly. Now press Alt E, click extrude faces along normals, extrude it like this. Now add 2 loop cut here. Then press Alt, Shift and select this faces to select all these circular faces. Select these faces too. Now press Alt E, click extrude faces along normals to extrude it. Then press Alt, Shift, select this faces to deselect this faces. Again extrude it. Then deselect this face and extrude this faces. Now here likewise press Alt and Shift, select these faces. and press Alt-E extrude these faces, finally select these faces also, and extrude it like this. We can see our restaurant has sharp edges, it is not looking realistic. Now I'm going to bring bevel modifier, change the segments 3. It is a knot for now and reduce the amount value. Then I'm bring subdivision modifier, change here value 2. We can see now we are facing some problems here, but we can easily rectify it by add some loop cuts. Now click this option, it will disable the modifier in viewport, and click that option in bevel modifier 2. Now press Ctrl R, press 2 in numpad to add 2 loop cuts, scale it in Z axis, add here also 2 loop cuts and scale this in Z axis, then add loop cuts here and scale this in X axis, likewise add loop cuts for all the window edges. Now I'm to speed it up. Now I'm click these option to enable bevel and subdivision modifier. See now it looks fine for me. Right click shade smooth, then in edit mode just select his face, press Shift D to duplicate it, press P, click selection to separate it. Then I'm going to object mode, select this object and remove the subdivision modifier, I don't want that. Then extrude it, press Ctrl R, press 8 in numpad to add 8 loop cuts here, press Alt Shift to select these faces, and extrude it little bit, then select this faces, press Shift D to duplicate it, move in Y axis here, then scale it like this, bring it here, then press R, X, 90 to rotate it, then scale this in Z axis, and bring it here, then extrude little bit, and press Shift D to duplicate it, bring it here, scale this in X axis, and in Z axis like this, then extrude it, and add a loop cut here, press S, X, to scale it like this, select this edge and press Shift S, move your cursor here, cursor to select it or click it, now your cursor will be here, press Shift A, click text, press R, X, 90 to rotate it and bring it here, then scale it and bring it here, in edit mode click backspace it, erase it. My restaurant name will be Thunder. If you want you can put your any name for your restaurant, then add solidify modifier and change the values here. Now, I'm going to bring this little bit like his, then bring a cylinder in edit mode, just scale it, bring it here, press G, Y, I want to scale in X and Y axis, not in Z axis, for that press S and Shift Z, it won't scale in Z axis, then bring it up like this. Now just click Shift D, X, to move it, then press Shift R, to repeat the action, just click shade smooth. Now press Alt H, to unhide our door, then select all the R objects, press 1 in numpad it is front view, and bring it down here. Now press Shift S, move here cursor to world origin, press Shift A, mesh plane in edit mode, scale it, after that press Shift A, click curve, click path, press 7 in numpad, press Z, move your cursor here to wireframe mode, in edit mode bring path here, scale it in X axis, select these 2 vertex, extrude in Y axis, again press E, to extrude in right click, now press S, X, to scale it in X axis, after that select these vertex here, right click subdivide, then just select these vertex and again right click subdivide it. Then go to object mode, bring it up like this, now Shift D, to duplicate it, I select this in here, object data properties geometry, increase the depth value and increase the resolution 8. Now bring cylinder, bring it here, bring it up in edit mode, scale it, bring it here, scale it little bit inside like this, then scale this in Z axis, bring array modifier, change factor, X, value and count value 2, after that bring curve, we are going to select this duplicate path, press eyedrop and select this path, now the cylinder will arrange along the curve, now just press G, and move the cylinder slowly like this smoothly here, then now just adjust the factor, X, value and count value, now it's look good. We have one final work that we should break our restaurant window glass, it is sad but we have to, for that we should apply subdivision modifier, I will tell why. First press K, it is knife tool, just left like this, it will add vertex like this, Then press spacebar to disable the knife tool. Then select these faces and delete it. Now see our geometry are overlapping and it is not good. So just place your cursor on the modifier and press Ctrl A. It is shortcut key to apply the modifier. I made a mistake while recording this tutorial. That is, now I said we have to apply the subdivision modifier. Then only we can break our restaurant windows, and the geometry also good, but I forgot one thing, that is while in creating our own procedural material, my system will be slow, and another thing is, I forgot to add glass into sprite material, so you guys don't apply the subdivision modifier now, you can apply it finally. Here now I have selected like this, just add a material, just rename it restaurant, then again add material, rename it glass, then select all the glass window and click assign, to assign to this material, then click plus, in drop down menu select the restaurant material, now select these faces here, and assign it to this material. I'm so busy now I don't have time to make tutorial, so I done it fast. You guys can add subdivision modifier at last. We are going to create own procedural material for our own restaurant. First go to Edit Preferences, enable Node Wrangler add-on, it will be helpful in shader editor. The go to Render View, I'm in Eevee, I won't change it into cycles, I'm using Blender new version and they update the Eevee including displacement too. Then shift to Bring Sun, place it here, change the value 4, and rotate it. In Render Properties just enable the Ray Tracing. Bring it up, change this into Shader Editor, click plus to add new material, rename it Restaurant, now press Shift A and add menu type Noise Texture, place it here, then select Noise Texture and press Ctrl T, now texture coordinates and mapping will be add, bring it here, press Ctrl J, to add frame. Then press Ctrl Shift and select the noise texture to preview it, change the scale value 1, detail 15, roughness 0.550, press Shift A, in add menu type color ramp, just place it here, now it will be automatically connected, then bring the black here, and white here so close, then bring mapping and place it here, change the scale value by 0.240, Y value 0.360, then select these three nodes, press Ctrl Shift D, to duplicate it and place it here, see the wire is connected with it, if we just press Shift D, and duplicate then the wire won't connected. Now change the noise texture scale value 2, then in mapping change the X value to 0.600, now select these two color ramp, press Ctrl 0, in numpad, it will bring mix color with connected, change this mix into darken, change the factor to 1, it will show the all darken values, now select these all nodes, press Ctrl J, to frame it, press F2 rename as noises. Then click this and drag it, bring it here, leave it, see you and bring nodes like this too. Now bring Voronoi texture, press Ctrl, Shift select Voronoi texture to preview it, change this into distance to edges, scale 1, detail 15, then bring the color ramp, bring white here so close to black, then Ctrl, Shift, D to duplicate it, place it here, change this into F1, scale value 3, bring these black and white here in color ramp, detail 0, then in add menu bring math node, connect these two color in math nodes, after enabling the clamp now this black value only going to show, enable clamp, see now it looks like scratches, then select all these nodes, press Ctrl J, to frame it, press F2 name it scratches. Then again bring noise texture scale value 1, detail 15, roughness 1, disable the normalize, bring the color ramp, now add the black and white like this, add frame, and name it noise distortion. Now we are to give color, in add menu type mix color, place it here, connect this color to mix factor, for color, A, hex code is 5F4036, for color, B, hex code is bring mix color, connect this math node to A, this darken result into color B, change factor value to 1, change this into darken, again bring mix color, place it here, connect this to factor, color, A, hex code is 5F4429, color, B, hex code is B1B1B1. Bring mix color, now connect this to mix result here, change the factor value 1, change this mix into darken, finally bring another mix color, place it here, now connect this result into factor, then bring color ramp, and adjust it. Now it will be black and white for factor, this darken will be black, and I'm going to change the white value only, connect this result into color A, color, B, hex code is BABABA, now just change the color here if you want like this, but I like the grayish white. Change the metallic value, because it want my small restaurant metallic. For more realistic bring bump now, then connect this normal to normal, after that select all these node, frame it, and name it mix color, then connect this mix result to height, change the strength to 0.100, you can see the difference, now I am changing this into cycles to see the difference. Then press Shift, D, to duplicate the bump node 3 times and place it like this. Now connect this math node into this height, and change the value. 0.150, we can see this wire is overlapping in this frame, we have to add reroute for that, just press. Now bring it here, then select this color ramp color, drag it, place it here, type reroute to add a reroute, then connect this to this bump node, change the strength value 0.200, bring noise texture, connect mapping vector to noise texture vector, change the scale value 100, detail 15, connect this to last bump node, then select these 4 bump nodes, frame it, and name it bump, then bring the nosy texture, place it here, it will add into the frame. Now we are going to add all nodes into group nodes, select the material output, press Ctrl I, to invert selection press Ctrl G, for group nodes, press Tab, bring it here, drag it like this, again press Tab, now connect this scale into this group input, then bring it here, connect these 2 noise texture scale to group input, and in right side here, just double click, and rename it, noises scale 1, and copy paste it, change 2, then here connect these 2 Voronoi texture, here and rename it, scratches scale 1, and scratches scale 2, connect this noise scale and roughness to group input, rename it. Now connect the color to group input, these 2, rename it noise distortion color 1, noise distortion color 2, then connect these 2 color, rename it, noise and scratches color 1, noise and scratches color 2, connect this final color, and rename it color, then connect the metallic and roughness value, if we want we can change the metallic value to 0, finally connect all 4 bump nodes to group input, rename it, noises strength, scratches strength, noise distortion strength, whole strength for this because this will affect our whole restaurant, connect this noise scale 2, then rename it whole noise scale, and here change whole noise strength, now just tab, see we arranged it so good, now you can change the color, or you can change scale, bump, all values here, now just add this material to all the objects, just click here, drag it and place it here. My system is running slow because of the subdivision modifier I applied, so for now I'm going to object mode, and adding the texture. Now select this material, click this option to make it new material. And change this color here to red color, or you can change any color you want, then click this glass material, bring the glossy BSDF, then bring transparent BSDF, bring mix shader, now connect this to in mix shader, then bring noise texture, change the roughness value 0.12, connect this to normal, bring the bump node, change strength value 0.050, then connect this fact to color, bring the color ramp, place it here, then bring the black and white closer, and change the black color little bit grayish, hex code is 8B8B8B, now we can see our window glass is transparent and noise. Then select door, bring new material, rename it metal, place your cursor here and press L to select this loose parts, click assign to this material, change the color little bit black, metallic value 1. Now hide all the objects except plane, click this option to make it a new material, then in change the color for this, hex code is. Now put the same material to this cylinders, here. Then select these two objects, press Shift, H, to hide the unselected objects, then for thunder make it a new. Now you can apply the subdivision modifier, or you can just press the window glass, and separate it, by press P, in numpad, click selection to separate it, then apply for this subdivision modifier and press K to enable the knife tool, and just click like this to add vertices, then delete these faces like this, do the same for all the window glass. Now you learned how to make this small abandoned restaurant exterior in Blender. I hope you like this tutorial. If you want more tutorial like this just comment it, I will do it more.